Bravo,
completed
game.
the story.
Bra fucking vo.
Oh Lord.
To think, you could go for another 2 hours for anything you want.
I guess.
So, what did you think of the casting of Frank Stone?
I wish it didn't take as long to get to the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, now that we're here, now the killer is, like... Well, this is like a story of the killer being born, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially. Like, this is how Frank Stone is brought into being like a monster killer.
Yeah.
And how, like I said, I'm sure Maddie is going to be the character that she's going to be the survivor.
They could do them all. Like, they could bring back the cat. Like these are like Dead by Daylight original characters. They could just bring them all into.
They very well could. But yeah, like, and even Augustine, she got devoured by the entity, so it just means that, like, yeah, you get to be a survivor too, bitch.
So the question is she is a survivor or a killer?
I mean, she doesn't look all cool and monstrous, so
that's true.
She would probably be made a survivor, because as far as the entity is concerned, it's like one way or the other. It's like,
Can you imagine if Augustine and Maddie were on the same team? Be like, bitch, I hate you so much.
Like, here, she's over here. Later. Just fuck her.
It's like, give her no peace ever.
I mean, and that's kind of the, like, unfortunate fate of, like, people that are just trapped in, like, this endless loop, along with Bill from Left 4 Dead and
Leon S. Kennedy,
Ash Williams, and Nicolas Cage, Trevor Belmont, and Laurie Strode.
So basically, DB, to kind of help you understand what just happened in the end was the creation of the Dead by Daylight loop.
Yep. As far as these characters and this killer is concerned.
Augustine succeeded, summoned the entity, and the entity took them all as offerings.
Basically. Boy. The sheriff guy, what's his name?
Sam.
Yeah, Sam. I think he got the worst way.
Yeah.
Worst way. Like, holy fuck. Like, that.
Head first.
Yeah, like, that was probably one of the more brutal ways. Like, and then he was just stuck inside him. Like, that. Yikes.
What are your overall thoughts on the casting of Frank Stone?
I would say this is something for, like, I would say this is something more for fans of Dead by Daylight than it is for people who are more interested in supermassive stuff.
I'm not convinced this stands alone. I'm not sure that if I didn't know what I know about Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Oh, Maddie and Bonnie were the same actress.
That's cool. You know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah, like, I feel like if you had no interest in Dead by Daylight at all, this would not be for you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and granted, like,
and I have a vague enough interest in Dead by Daylight where I'm able to, like, still have a good time.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I didn't have that grounding from people I know playing DBD, how I'd feel about this game.
Yeah, exactly. Because, in my opinion, personally, I think it is a little weak, even compared to something like The Quarry, or
do you think it's stronger than Little Hope? It's a tough one, isn't it? It's tough.
It's certainly more interesting than Little Hope, in my opinion, because Little Hope is still at the bottom rung when it comes to all their stuff. But like, even compared to like, because this almost feels like it was like the same length as any of the Dark Pictures stuff.
But you spend so long before you're in any actual danger.
Yeah, exactly. Because as we've kind of seen, when things got interesting, we literally had only like an hour left.
Yeah, like the game was over.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe they could have done more, but like,
there's so much setup for a payoff that doesn't feel worth. It's not the correct term.
Because at some point, I think they just said, fuck it, and now we're done with those kids in 1980. We don't need to care about them anymore. And I was like, do we though? Like,
I guess I feel like we got them out.
Yeah. And like I said, we just sent Chris back to the past when she fucking shows up. Because I can imagine like some of that playing differently. And and that's also the thing with supermassive games is they want you to start exploring like other forks and decisions.
Because there is theoretically a universe in which everyone survives. The trophies say otherwise. The trophies say that is possible.
And that is certainly something that I think this game, like Supermassive, has been very good about. Like, hey, look, jump to any chapter you want, any point in the story.
I wonder what the all survive ending looks like.
Yeah,
because this is supposed to like be like the DBD lore game.
Somebody was gonna get sacrificed,
and so like, well, because the trophy says everyone survives, even the people who are not in the playable cast. What does that look like?
Yeah, I know. Like, that's where,
like, a universe in which like not Bonnie or fucking Stanley don't get sacrificed. What does that look like?
Or even Sam. Like,
well, Sam is a playable character.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Like, does Augustine get killed, and that's what causes the loop?
Maybe, yeah. Like, because for Stan, I'll admit, yeah, we probably fucked him over not letting him have the talisman. But
I don't know if I care about that.
Yeah, fuck him. We've been on the fuck Stan train ever since we started.
But not literally, figuratively. Fuck Stan.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, it... me personally...
I waited 2 weeks for this? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Genuinely.
Yeah, I feel, again, and maybe this is just the thing with, like, the way Supermassive makes their games, is that you do get the most out of it by going back and making, like, the other decisions to where... Because the first time through, yeah, you're bound to fuck up. And, I mean, and that's kind of...
I don't know if I agree with what you just said, actually. Because,
really?
Like, I think there is a strength to just, like, that being the canon run. Where you don't know, where you're making guesses and making and like not knowing the everything that you need to know to get the best ending. I think there's some like there's value to that being like the one and done.
Yeah. But also, yeah, I mean, like, because
now, as a corollary, if you want to do the perfect ending, the game has to be interesting enough to warrant doing the perfect ending.
Yeah, and...
I don't know if that's the case.
And I mean, and they designed these to where, like, you would not have to start from the very beginning. You can start from whatever chapter you want and see how the decisions flow, because that's something that they've been very good at designing. Is like, oh, because you did this happened, and you can kind of basically be like, well, I'm gonna do this instead. So
I want to be clear, I don't think this game is bad. This game is good. This is a good video game. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if it's as good as I would like it to be.
Like, if you were somebody that's into Supermassive games, but maybe you've never touched Dead by Daylight, and this being like a gateway into that,
that might be a skip for me.
Yeah.
Genuinely, that might be like, you should skip this then. If you're like not into Dead by Daylight, I believe like this doesn't seem like this is their best.
Dead by Daylight, to its credit, as a multiplayer game, certainly does not have the problems that, say, like a League of Legends does, in my opinion. Like,
yeah. Oh, maybe the problem is like trying to adapt DBD to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it's not as easy as it looks like it should be.
Yeah, no, I mean, because like Dead by Daylight, especially like on his face starting, it was just this idea of like, hey, asynchronous.
What if we made a horror game but multiplayer?
Survive getting away from this one killer that's after you. It's like, man, imagine if Evolve took off.
I think the other problem I'm kind of having with this game is that it's hard to talk about the casting of Frank Stone without talking about Dead by Daylight. And that's not a problem per se, but if you're going to tell me it's a standalone game, I don't think that is the case. Maybe it even shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't even be the case.
Because, like, what is the full title for this? It's like
the casting of Frank Stone, and there's like a subtitle
from the world of Dead by Daylight.
From the world Dead by Daylight.
So,
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, like maybe the expectation that this was to be a standalone was the mistake on my part.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should have taken this the entire time as like a Dead by Daylight experience, because it is. And it should maybe the expectation was the error was my expectations.
I mean, yeah, and especially because of having things like the generators and stuff, and then the presentational bit at the end of.
I'm sorry, you finish your thought.
Like the presentational bit at the end of you being Frank Stone in first person as you just walk to what is basically
that's cool.
Yeah,
that shit is cool. Like
that's a cool thing.
When you get the Jenny, that's fucking cool.
Uh-huh.
But if you aren't already invested in Dead by Daylight, at least to a minor degree, because I don't want to say I'm invested, but I have an interest in the game. I know, and
yeah,
I not as a player, but as a viewer, I think the game's is interesting to watch.
I have kind of recently gotten back into playing it a bit. Like, you know, I don't buy every fucking DLC, but I buy like I certainly buy like the ones that are interesting to me.
Like the Castlevania stuff, I presume?
Yeah, like Castlevania, I bought the Resident Evil stuff, I bought Silent Hill, Nicolas Cage. I couldn't, there's no reality where I'm not buying Nicolas Cage to play, especially since Nick Cage is great in Dead by Daylight. He really is.
Because I think if you take this as like a Dead by Daylight timeline, I think this game is actually very good.
Yeah.
The question I have is, if you are not a DBD mark, is this game for you? I think the answer is actually just emphatic no. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It really isn't. Like, this feels very much like supplemental. Like, because there's part of me, because it's the idea of, at the time of this video and everything, they have not released Frank Stone for Dead by Daylight yet.
I don't even know if we know he's going to be in the game. I think that's still an up in the air question.
Okay. You think about that statement. Really? You don't know if he's not going to be... Why the fuck...
I just want to be clear. As of this recording, there is no announcement implying that could be the case. That is probably going to happen.
Yeah.
But there is no official word on that.
Why wouldn't there be, though? Why
would they have this character and not use him is a good question.
And
the answer is they probably will. Just they might not have the kit ready.
Of course not. Like, because it seems like, you know, the strategy is we have this out for a while, and then after so much time passes and we feel like, okay, enough people have played this, now we put him we put him in the thing, and that'll get, you know, the people that were into that probably into this maybe, and you know, maybe even the people that haven't played this but they're into Dead by Daylight might like the idea of like, oh hey, this new killer looks cool because big open chest mouth and bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, that
someone who's into Vor might like Frank Stone.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Frank Stone, the killer for you.
If you're into Vor,
guys, don't worry about
it.
Yep.
Holy shit. Wow. But yeah, like, because I don't know if they could have done the reverse. Like, if they had released this killer and then somewhere down the road, like...
Oh, no, hey, it has to be in this order, I think. I think you're right.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they could have done that. Like, here's some supplemental material telling... You know, because, like, there's part of me that wonders, what if they wanted to do, like, another setup like this, but for one of the existing killers? You know what I mean?
I don't know if the existing killers are interesting enough.
I mean, for as many...
And by that I mean, like, the Dead by Daylight original killers.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's exactly what I mean. We don't need any of this shit for, like, the licensed LP. No, not at all.
Yeah,
but
like, I don't know if any of them are interesting enough.
Uh-huh. Like,
because they were meant to be parodies of existing properties.
Some of them, yes, but, like, a lot of there are, like, some of the existing killers have some really good, like, there's some really good original
confess
stuff.
I do not have a working knowledge of all of the entire roster, so I could be completely incorrect.
Yeah, because, I mean, especially, like, when you look at some of the characters, like, the Hillbilly was very much supposed to be, like, this kind of mishmash of Leatherface and Jason Voorhees, and the Wraith, you know, this kind of witch doctor kind of character, and then but you know, like some of the other ones, like, and you know, and there's a killer clown one, because of course there is.
Yeah, gotta have a sweet tooth.
Yeah. There are, but I do think there are some that are, they probably could be interesting. I don't know. It does seem questionable if they could do it or not, like if they wanted to do that.
I will also say that, like, if I'm the Dead by Daylight publishing team, I don't know of a better person who could have done a better job than Supermassive. They are kind of
absolutely.
They're the dev studio that makes these games.
Yeah, like it's also the thing of, like, Supermassive and the way they're able to make these games, it is still leaps and bounds above anything, and I put to you anything that David Cage has done.
And I gotta say, the fact to put out one of these fucking games every year,
yeah, which is
insane to me, given what I know about the development process for most studios.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the only way you could get
they
by
must
is,
have
like,
multiple projects in rotation at the same time.
Not to mention, like, you know, how much stuff they have that they can reuse, like, asset wise.
I think that would also, like, I don't know if you ever listened to the Yakuza team talk.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Did an interview where they were like, "Wait, you guys don't reuse your maps?
Why
don't you reuse your maps?"
Yeah, it is such a great thing of, like, flying in the face of dipshits, like, oh, they reused this, they're lazy, and it's like, you know how long.
And now we have pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. No, they can reuse shit all they want if I get games like that. I don't think I have ever complained about asset reuse.
No. Obviously, context matters. Like,
yeah. But it's like, for as much money and time that it takes to make anything for a video game, why wouldn't you reuse any of that shit? To be used only once, that is...
There's also, like, a difference between, like, the Yakuza devs just using the same map and making changes to show how the place is changing over time,
Yeah, exactly.
Versus Bethesda give me the same fucking prefab dungeon for the past 5 dungeons. It's different.
Yeah,
It's different. There's a difference there that like is relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's especially to where
even like a game like this, like if they reuse stuff like furniture and shit, I'm not gonna notice that shit.
No,
I'm not gonna notice. Oh, this is the couch from Little Hope. No one's gonna notice that shit.
No, who gives a fuck? If you're somebody that worries about that shit, you need to rethink the priorities in your life. If that's what bothers you.
I mean, these credits are lengthy, apparently. We've been talking for 20 minutes.
We really have. I mean, if you...
Yeah. I think I am overall, like... This is I don't want to say mid, but like in a good way. Like this is exactly like a 3 out of 5 for me.
I would say the same, and again, I'm saying that mostly because I am familiar with Dead by Daylight, and I do have that knowledge.
Like this is a solid C++.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't know if I could recommend this to somebody that has no knowledge of Dead by Daylight.
I don't think you could. I think you need to at least have played a couple of games of Dead by Daylight before you start playing this game.
Yeah, I mean, like,
which the game is free, so like, sure, why not?
The game's not free.
Oh,
but it is.
They didn't rate it free to play?
No, it is. It's usually inexpensive though, because I think I see the base game go on sale quite a bit. Because if you wanted to, okay, yeah, so the base game right now, at full price is $20.
Okay, that's not the worst price. I'm surprised they haven't gone like free to play by this point. That's interesting.
Like I said, I have seen that game marked down so much to being like $5. Like, I think it was on sale once for like $1.99 at one point. Like it was. There's been some steep discounts on that.
It's like when someone says, you want to buy Left 4 Dead, it's like, wait a minute. If you're going to buy any of those Valve games, you need to wait for the next sale. Because they'll be like 2 cents by the time that sale's finished.
Not to mention, it's not like... It's like, well, I want to support the people that made it. It's like, bro, Valve doesn't...
They're either unemployed or fine. And there's nothing that you're purchasable to change that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are some indie games I do that for, to where it's like, I could buy this now at a lower price, but it's like, I don't mind waiting and then spending full price on it, sometimes.
It depends.
But, yeah, in the case of Dead by Daylight, yeah, like, $20 is all you would need if you wanted to get into that. And still a very active community.
Oh, yeah, I imagine. They release patches and expansions for that game all the time.
Yeah, like it is something to where like it is a gameplay loop that, again, Dead by Daylight is still way more approachable than any MOBA. More approachable than probably even any first-person shooter.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would, in all honesty, because it's like, I don't consider Dead by Daylight like a hard game.
No, but most shooters aren't either.
I think the thing you only have to worry about with like some shooters is where, for as long as the genre has been around, like any given game, there are just some fucking killers.
Like Call of Duty would not be the game it is. Fortnite would not be the game it is if they were hard to get into.
That's true, yeah. I mean, and again, skill-based matchmaking. So
yeah, it's a good thing. It should keep doing it.
Yeah, you're not gonna be paired up with the killers. I still get paired up with people that suck because I suck at a game.
I have uninstalled Fortnite, so I think this season of Fortnite is very, very bad, actually.
Are you talking about the Marvel season or
yes,
the season
the Marvel season?
Okay, because they started a new season recently.
I don't care.
and you know what? for what I will say about
perhaps in a universe in the far from future, I will give a shit. This is not that time.
Yeah, because this season doesn't look like it has a crossover or anything going on. It's just like Far Night Originals of, hey, we got to the end of the credits.
Yeah, there's a post-credit scene.
Uh-huh. See, it's a good thing we sat through all this. Somebody else coming out of there?
Looks like it.
Is it gonna be Frank?
Maybe it's gonna be Chris again.
I would fucking laugh if that was the case.
Stop hitting the camera with your fucking spinny wheels. Alright. What's coming out?
What is coming out?
Augustine.
Of course. Oh, hi,
and Augustine.
Oh.
There's two of them.
You know what? Time and space and shit is weird. Oh yeah.
Another doll.
Yep.
A Frank Stone doll.
Because of course. Sure.
Use the cutting room floor to see your current path throughout the story. You can jump to previously played points in the story or change outcomes along different branches, find collectibles you may have missed.
Yeah, so this is where I feel like the real meat of one of Supermassive's games come from. Like,
let's take a look.
For as much as there is about when you go through the one narrative, this is where you really get to, like, this is where the real replay value is.
Oh, so this is just like this is literally just the timeline.
Yeah.
See, consumed, hunted, fixed generator. Augustine betrayed.
I mean, there's a timeline where Augustine was fine.
Looks okay. We got the nobody survives ending. No survivor reached the campfire.
Shit. Wow. All right.
So I guess there's like a ton of different endings depending on how many people reach the campfire.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I guess we just both fucked up. But like, yeah. Like I said, like to me, like this is why you're paying $40. You know, like you're not paying $40 to go through it just a single time. There's something to be shown for, and again, like for as much content as there is in this game.
We got Sam defeated Frank Stone.
Yeah.
So I guess the people in the past are still fine.
They should be.
True.
But I think with that... Oh, you missed a few.
I missed a lot. That's fine, though. That's fine.
You got everything there. Oh, wait, no. It said 8 of 10.
Yeah, 8 of 10. But yeah, that was the casting of Frank Stone. I think I'm not as high as I'd like to be, but I'm still quite high on it.
Yeah, I think you should go through, like, just on your own and seeing what other outcomes you could possibly get. And...
Perhaps. Or I'll just uninstall it and move on with another game in my list, because I have a lot of games on my list.
Well, now you won't need me here next week.
No. Now I can go back to Assassin's Creed 2 next week.
Perfect.
Oh, man. But that was an experience.
It was.
Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, and thanks for having me.
And next week, or next year, there should be another Dark Pictures game. We can play
Directive
that.
8020.
I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
I love Dark Pictures games. They're so fun. They're always a ton of fun, even the bad ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I enjoy Little Hope, even though Little Hope is a bad game. I enjoy it.
Like, yeah, like got its problems, but hey.
That's just a theory.
Don't. Oh, God. No.
Not gonna finish that one.
That.
We're gonna let it hang.
Anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Have a great evening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.